for failure. That's what 37% of Americans are giving Joe Biden for their grade, for his report card. He's getting an F. And the rest of this survey doesn't look too much better. Hello, everyone. I'm Trish Regan. Good to have you here. I am back. I'm back in front of the camera. If you're listening, thank you for that, because this podcast is available on Apple iTunes and on Spotify. And if you're watching, all the better. I'm here on Rumble and YouTube and my Locals channel as well. Do go and check out Locals, trishregan.locals.com. Anyway, I want to get to this survey that came out from Politico and Morning Consult. 37%, again, rating the president an F. That's the grade they're giving him after 1 year in office. Not too good there. And then when you look at the rest of the numbers, it really doesn't look that much better, especially when you see that 52% of Americans are rating him as a, quote, weak leader. Now, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, you see what just transpired over the summer in Afghanistan. You look at what's happening right now in Ukraine. We're now sending weapons to Ukraine, $200 million worth. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But it tells you that on the international stage, there's a weakness right now to America, thanks to Joe Biden. I said the other day, I titled the podcast, How Much Damage Has Been Done, because a lot has been done. A lot has been done to our reputation on the world stage. And that's playing right out in real time right now as we look at this controversy unfolding between Ukraine and Russia and our inability really to do anything. I mean, hey, look, if I'm Putin, I'm saying, well, hey, I got Crimea with Obama. Why shouldn't I get Ukraine now with Biden? And so we're going to get to that in a second, but it does speak to the weakness perception that Americans have, and frankly, probably the rest of the world has. A lot of people also don't see him as healthy. They don't see him as being in good health, which understandably, given his age, 79 years old, and his inability to communicate at times really has hurt him. They also recognize his lack of communication skills. And so just 20% are giving Joe Biden a B, 18% grading him a C, and just the smallest survey of people, there 11% would actually give him an A. Those must be the diehard lefties. But actually, to point out, even the diehard lefties, right? That's been one of his mistakes. He's gone too hard to the left because they don't like him either. I mean, he definitely is an unpopular president, and I know he's trying to turn it around. That's what today's press conference is in part about, but unfortunately for him, perhaps just because he's been too coached, yet simultaneously doesn't really know how to answer questions, kind of digs himself in ways that are unnecessary, which perhaps speaks to his lack of communication skills, and I would go one step further, frankly, lack of intelligence. Anyway, Americans are catching up. Half of those surveyed claim that they do not believe that Biden really cares about them. That's actually an important part in here. Half of those surveyed claim to believe Biden doesn't care about them, compared to 41% who agreed that he cares about people like me. I mean, when half of the country feels like you don't give a damn, you got a problem as a politician. Your party has a problem as a politician. And this is why you see so many Democrats now trying to distance themselves as we get closer to 22 from Joe Biden, as they should. I mean, having him on stage with you really is kind of toxic at this point, especially when everyday Americans feel like he doesn't care. He doesn't care about things like inflation, food costs going up, housing prices going up, energy costs going up. Inflation is real. You've heard me talk about it at length. I predicted it. Sure enough, it is indeed here, and it's not getting any better, which is why, economic policy really and truly does matter. One of the reasons why I'm so glad to tell you about AMAC. AMAC is a group of 2 million Americans that, like you and me, really care about our financial future and are very worried about the direction in which we are going. Association of Mature American Citizens. We are fighting here to stop some of this out-of-control spending. It really is out of control, including the president's Build Back Better agenda, which I've told you, this scheme is just getting started. It's far from over. In fact, you've got Schumer tonight trying to hold a vote to find his way to a talking filibuster. I mean, these guys are absolutely delusional. They're going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back, trying to get this spending through. Congress is plotting more legislation that could hurt our seniors, and the midterm elections are coming right up. We've got this battle that's going on right now for freedom versus socialism, and it's important for all of us to have a voice in all of this. Unlike some of these liberal groups out there, AMAC is America's conservative, action-oriented, 50-plus organization that's fighting very hard in Washington every single day and across this nation for seniors, because seniors and their livelihoods and their futures, they really matter. So I want you to join this group right now. It's really important. Plus, there's all kinds of freebies, and me, I like a really good deal. So, you're going to have all kinds of discounts on your favorite hotels, your favorite restaurants. So get your membership. Support your values, get your membership, get the benefits, and do a good thing for yourself and other seniors. I want you to go to amac.us/Regan, Regan, for your membership. You'll get a special deal there. Again, go to amac.us/Regan to become an APEC member now. It's important. They've got all kinds of things, as I mentioned. They're going to be trying to get through this filibuster, drop the filibuster anyway, right? That's part of the idea tonight with the talking filibuster. Look, Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema, they've indicated they're not budging on it. And yet, these guys keep coming back and coming back and coming back. I guess they want to be able to say to their voters, well, we tried, and in order to really be able to do something, we need to have control. We need to have control of the Senate. If they have control of the Senate, we are all going to be up a creek without a paddle. All right, I want to turn to what's going on in Ukraine right now, because this increasingly is becoming really quite an issue. We saw Afghanistan as a disaster. Now Ukraine is carrying on in that way. In fact, we just got word today that the U.S. is delivering military aid to Ukraine as Russia continues to have all these security demands. Of course, Russia, from their perspective, right, if you're in Russia, they don't really like that Ukraine is right there with NATO and not such a friend, and so they feel vulnerable as a result. It'd be like, if we had Chinese troops or Russian troops right there in Canada, we wouldn't really like it. I get it. But yet simultaneously, NATO is our ally, and NATO is a group that we back for obvious reasons, having come out of the Cold War. And so we're in this sort of pickle right now where we're like, okay, well, do we back NATO to the point where it might actually encourage some kind of fight with Russia, or do we appease Vladimir Putin and let him have what he wants? The fact that we're in this situation to begin with, that's messed up, okay? We went 4 years, 2016 through 2020. We had no problems like this. And now what do you know? Don't forget President Obama. It was under President Obama that Crimea was annexed. So if I'm Putin, of course I'm going to make this play. Of course I'm going to try this. So he's trying to get part of Ukraine. And, we'll see what happens. Right now it's escalating in a way that really is unfortunate. Again, according to a senior official within the U.S. State Department, apparently we have delivered defensive military aid to Ukraine as Russia is issuing all these demands for sweeping security regulations in this region. And that's suggesting that we're going to see increasingly a problem. According to this official, we're committed to Ukraine's sovereignty, quote, and territorial integrity, and we will continue to provide Ukraine with the support it needs. So what does that mean? I'll tell you, if this guy winds up landing us in some kind of military trouble with Russia, just wow. What a massive mistake. What a massive mistake he was on every single level. From a total pure lack of leadership. Again, going back to the survey, 52% of Americans say he's a weak leader. You bet he is, especially if we're winding up in this situation. From that perspective, from an economic perspective, given the massive inflation that we're dealing with, and it's going to continue, I'm predicting double digits by spring in consumer price increases. So we've got mass inflation, major problems on the international front. He can't get his agenda to first base. Good, but still, he is a weak leader. The sooner he goes, the better. The sooner conservatives with conservative values, both from a military perspective and from an economic perspective, are back in control, the better. Thank you again for tuning in. I meant to say to everybody, just thank you for all your well wishes. Some of you may know, my most loyal followers know I've been recovering from an appendectomy. I had my appendix out in emergency surgery Friday evening, and I've been back at home. This is my first day back on camera with all of you, so I'm glad to be here. But I just so appreciated all your well wishes and all your messages of support. It really meant a lot. And what I was so struck by was how many other people have had their appendix out. Who knew? It's a pretty common operation, of course, but I appreciated hearing those stories. And there are some lovely stories in there, including about how people met their spouses thanks to an appendectomy. Who knew? It could be so romantic. Anyway, again, thank you. You can get more from me. More behind the scenes stuff, a little chit chat. You can correspond with me directly on my locals channel. That's trishregan.locals.com, and I'll see you tomorrow.